Okay, so here we are, Fallout 4, with the new DLC with the cages, and this is the stadium that I have been building. A couple hours in already, and eventually just going to have seating all the way up. You've got your bottom row, seating there is kind of done. Going to do some on this level, and then up top I've actually got the box suites. So people can look down and it's clear on the floor, so there's no obstruction. All new stuff came in the DLC. And then they can watch the fights. So when you're actually making these, it's going to take quite a bit of resources. So as you can tell, I'm on a computer. I've got some console commands and able to build basically as big as the computer can handle. So that's quite a ways to go. Each cage has to have power in order to catch the animal, and so for example these ones all catch mutant hounds, as you can see, and once they get power they will catch it. I think it says after a week, so sometimes it takes longer. So I think there's a chance to catch every in-game week or something like that. I haven't read too many videos, so we'll figure that out. But here we've got the big bears there. We're going to catch some bears, and we got the rad scorpions, and then here we got the deathclaw cages. And the plan is to have them all full, and all those full, and we can just release the individual switches. So each one, if you truly want to release individually, you're going to have to be able to turn the power off to each individual cage. As soon as you turn the power off, cage opens, thing comes out. And what I've seen on a lot of YouTube videos is it's really broken. So if you don't have direct line of sight to the enemy you want them to fight, they're not going to fight each other. You have to pretty much go and instigate it, make them see each other, then they'll fight. But that's why I built this giant open area. I'm going to get rid of those stairs before the end of this, just to help me when I'm building in this mode here, so I can walk around. Those stairs will stay. The plan is mutant hounds come out, those things come out, everything wants to fight. Then you can actually catch humans, like raiders, gunners, that kind of thing. So I'm going to have a couple cages under here is the plan, a couple cages up here. I might have to expand this out depending on the size that those are. And it's going to be completely, when you open it up, they cannot get out. They just have to fight it to the death, gladiator style. It should be pretty cool. So we'll give you a little tour. This is the stadium seating, obviously. And this row here and that row there, bottom two rows, kind of got some seating done up, but don't really know how I'm going to build it yet. It's kind of as I go. If I get ideas, I'll figure it out then. I'm going to have a master switch for all these switches to be able to kill them all. So for example, these two will power those two. I'm going to build some more. And if you want to power them all, you're going to need a row of switches to actually do this. So the plan is to be down here, be able to flick all the switches I want, and then I can go sit wherever and watch the battle go, get some good camera angles. Problem with these cages, when we're still on that, is they can get broken, they can get damaged by the animals inside. So I built a few, caught a few rad scorpions already just to see how it would go, and yeah, you actually got to use your resources to repair it, just like you'd have to repair a turret. Let's say if somebody came into your settlement and broke a turret, you need to put resources back into it, like your common materials, to fix it. So I built this little area down here. Failed. Help defend. See, I don't understand why it says failed. I have more than enough turrets at every base, and each entrance is secure. If I warp there, they die so quick that it's just over. You can't even fight them. The turrets kill them too quick. But if I don't warp there, it says I failed. I think it's like a random chance or something. Plan is to have these open doors here. I'll be able to do what I need. These are the new doors that came, and they only work when they're powered. So you power them, you can open them, and you put a switch beside them. You can actually open and close them. You can do other little crazy things I'll show you in a little bit here, and you can make the doors actually have timers. So building, obviously I just built a bunch of concrete blocks as the base, and had to build this little thing over here so when they do break the cages, I'll be able to just walk without going into repair mode. I mean, that's the easiest way to do it, obviously. Just go to repair mode, delete it, put it back. But if you really want to play the game once you get everything built, so you need a little pathway like this up here. I got some railings along so people don't fall off if they're being stupid. Hopefully nobody else comes here with me, because they shouldn't be able to, but you never know with glitchy games. And here I can actually get at pretty much every one of these if I need to repair them, and I'll have them all powered up eventually too and whatnot. And this is just that behind area, so if I need to, I can access the inside. I'll have some switches there too, so I can get at those doors. And from the inside, you can't do anything. You can't open the doors without power. And yeah, that's the stadium right there, as you can see. So we'll head over there next. And we're up on the first floor here. Or I don't know if you call this the first floor, second. We're up on the next floor, let's just put it that way. So here are the couches. Probably going to expand this out a little more, maybe some tables and whatnot. And then you got to have some stairs for people to be able to get to the next level. I built stairs on either end, plus right here for some extra flow of traffic, because I mean, there's going to be thousands of people here watching this. Have some couches, chairs up here, maybe some more places to sit. And this would be the main floor, I guess we'd call it, because that's going to be the main area. And then over here I'm going to have concessions and probably other things. That's a little more of my settlement, just kind of randomly built one day. Got big plans for this island. This is the, well, I don't know what they call this island. I think I'll be in this to see it here. What do they call this here? Spectacle Island, that's right. And you can get that settlement if you activate the power by going to the boat on one side. Might make a little video on that soon. But once you got it, you can build freely. So this will be where the concessions are, people hanging out. And if you go up one more level, I'm not too sure, I might put some more stairs, probably going to have to, but these are the box offices here. So you walk on out, I'll probably put some chairs or whatnot here, and you can oversee everything. You can even see through if you really want to, but main thing was I didn't want the other people to obstruct, so I tried to make the clear floors, and those are new. You couldn't do that before. That's what the DLC there, so. Pretty big island, and this structure here would have probably filled it 2 or 3 times what you could normally build. And then that'd be it. That's all you could build in this whole island. So with the power of console commands and Bethesda letting us basically mod our game without needing real mods, we can build as much as we need. Within reason, as long as your computer can handle. I've seen some people put up videos their computer can't handle doing half of this island covered, and they got the whole thing covered. We'll see how we go. I bet you once I get my island probably half covered, my computer will start chopping out. But right now we're on pretty much full settings for everything, and we're holding a solid 60 frames a second at 1080p, so good enough for me. Over here, built a little armory, as you can see by the labeling. And the plan is once I'm inside there, or the staff is inside there, I'll probably assign a dude. You can come to the armory, say, hey, I need to get in, and you can get some supplies from up there. And just kind of cool front entrance I just wanted to build so it looked all right. And the main way to get in is going to be through the staff entrance, which is right here. It says no entry. That should be closed for no entry. And then we go over here, and we've got the water facility. So basically I wanted to get the armory built where I'm going to store all the weapons, power armor, that kind of stuff. And then the water depot. And if you've ever built settlements, you know your settlers start to wander. They start to screw things up. So these new doors here where they actually require power to open, love it, because the settlers can't get through there. So I built those in this building and this building, basically saying I don't plan on settlers being in there unless I specifically stick them in there and then lock them in there. So and for me to get in there, I obviously can't get through. There's no entrance to the door, no entrance to the door. So this is where the staff entrance comes in, obviously. Let me close this. This is where some wiring magic takes place here. So all these different wires, they have a purpose. All I got to do is, you can see that switch there. Switch is off now. Whenever I power the switch on, the door, because of the wiring, will open, but only for exactly 1 second. And then it closes. So then you just flick the switch off again, give it an open. Now, there might be an easier way to do this. Some people might know. I don't. I just started playing around with it, kind of trying to figure it out. If you do know, let me know, because, God, that would save me a lot of time. This door was probably 15, 20 minutes just trying to figure out all this different wiring. So what I did is, in order to get in here, and I wanted it to basically so that if a settler or whoever did eventually get smart enough to use a switch, they wouldn't have time to get through the door. The AI just isn't smart enough to get them through there in 1 second. So if I flick the switch, you'll see that goes green. It also makes a noise. The noise comes from these little things here, powered speakers. And by having them hooked up to the circuit, whenever that circuit activates, they make a noise. So it sounds like a door buzzing. Power, the main power, has to come from somewhere. So it comes down this line here. Main power hits this pole at the switch here. And when I turn the power on, it lets the power carry on over to this. Now when the power carries on over to this, because I hit the switch on, that's when that light turns green. And when that light turns green, it's giving power. Now this is a delayed off switch, so you can actually set how long you want this to provide power once it gets power, and then turn off. So once this gets power, I have it set for 1 second. So it gives power for 1 second to this probe right here. That probe is the door probe. So for 1 second, it has power. As soon as this door does not have power anymore, it closes. So as soon as that turns red, it closes. Now it seems simple enough. And then what I did, just that's the extra, that's where that comes off of there. So once that node's powered, it can also power the speakers. You also have to get out this way, because you have to be able to lock the door behind yourself. So you just move in real quick as a person. So this switch here is essentially the same thing. It gets its power from the roof, and it shoots the power up there, down that line. And you still want the 1 second delay. Comes down this line, hits its own 3 second delay switch. Now, I tried using one delayed switch for both, but it was getting really weird because what ends up happening is you leave this switch on when you need to move through really quick. This is always going to be dead until it gets fresh power. So even though it's getting power now, it doesn't count. So now it's off completely. Now it's reset. So as soon as it gets power, it'll give you a second. So we got 1 second, and then it's off. You have to flick it off to start again. It actually kills that. So you can see that's still red because that other one is still supplying power. However, it said, I'm not going to give you any power until you're off and on again. So that's one way to get in and out. Pretty handy. Pretty cool. Seems to work. Oh, look at that. Seems to not work. There we go. Through we go. And we're safe. So inside, the plan is to have a bunch of snacks, a bunch of stuff like that. The roof, we got super colorful. Needed a street sign. Just kind of playing around. This whole thing started me playing around with the lights in the new DLC, and I just started building. Couldn't stop one day. Lost track of time. So once you get in here, you'll go over to the desk. You can sign out stuff, whatever. Obviously now this is really working in the game. It's been being weird. Got this thing turned on so you can let people in, and it sprays you with an anti-radiation thing. That's part of the new DLC too, I'm pretty sure. So if you walk through that, you are no longer radiated. Close that. People are there. Make sure that everything's safe. And then you can open up this door here. And people are good to go. Good to come in. But you have to be behind the mesh to be checked, so we know that you're safe. And this is just the monitor I use, terminal, I guess they call it. And by having that connected to this, everything that's connected, it can control all kinds of things. That's where you set, how long do you want your delays, your light box control, your switch control. So there's the delayed switch. It says how long do you want to delay it. I have mine on 1 second. That's all I want. But having a few of these lined up, you could do anything you really want in this game. If you have enough of them, you could plan all kinds of things. It's beyond what my brain can comprehend. You can pick the tone. You can do basically whatever. Turret control. Deactivate. We got 4 turrets connected to this particular light, this particular electrical system. So I believe that's going to be, yeah, there's 2 there. So they just defend if somebody comes in, makes it past the staff wall. And going on, headed on up. So this is going to be where the main armory is. That's going to be where I'm going to keep all the power armors, obviously. I have 6 of them here for myself. And these are the new fusion generators that just came out in the DLC. So they produce 100 power. That's pretty crazy. It cleans up a lot of space, because before, if you want to produce 100 power, I mean, you'd need a space the size of this building full of generators just to do that. So I don't know why they didn't have that earlier. It is Fallout. Fusion power is what they do. So we climb on up here to the second floor, and this is going to be where the guns and ammo are. So each one of these will be filled with different kinds of clothing, armor, that kind of stuff. We'll have some guns over there. We'll have all the ammo types and whatnot in all these boxes. So everything here is a container, so you can store anything in most of this stuff here. Yeah, everything looks like I built containers for everything. Good. And then we have a little bit of defense. Little missile turret there. At the time I built that, there was not a water facility there, so it made a lot more sense. And then we got this one here just for security. Eventually we'll have quite a bit more defense set up. This is just the beginning. Out we go. And now we're going to check out the water facility. So same thing, we couldn't get in that way, so we have to go through the staff entrance. And it's essentially, I just built the same thing over here. Just got the double set up, 3 speakers. Same thing on that side, just goes up, gives one of those power for 1 second, and gets us 1 second out the door. Love it. And we built the same kind of thing over here, except this time when I turn this one on, open the door, those lights actually turn on. I got some lights up there too. And then I got it set so when you turn that off, obviously those turn off, but when you turn this one on, these lights turn on over here to kind of tell you, hey, come through this door. And then up there, those ones stay. That one kind of gets a little glitchy, but it's bright enough in here that kind of works with the switches. And down here is the water plant. So all these different water generating generators, what are they called? Water purifiers. That's a good, way better name than what I was using. So these water purifiers, this one produces 40. It's the biggest one you can get, and I threw one down there just to kind of make it look cool. And we've got 10, 10, 10, whatever. Doesn't really matter when you're building on the computer like this if you're just building for looks, because I could make this produce 800 water if I wanted to. You just go to your console command, change to how much water it actually produces, but having this many gives it a fancy kind of look, so you can hear the generators going. That's a new kind of water pump now that you don't actually have to place in water purifier I should say. And it just works off electricity, because there's some settlements where you don't have any water, so trying to place that in there is pretty tough to do. Show you the downstairs first, get that right out of the way. So what I've done is I've covered it all the way so nobody can get in here no matter what, so no animals can come, no raiders can break this stuff, essentially is how it goes. But again, if you don't show up, you break your stuff. If they say you need to go here to help and you don't go there to help, it breaks, even if you have full security. Kind of stupid. Up the stairs we go, top floor. So same thing with the roof. I was being kind of weird again and needed some hippie roof. Built this pathway over here. This is going to be the office eventually for the waterworks. It's a pretty nice office, I tell you. It's a pretty good view. Doesn't come with a lot of pay because it's the wasteland, so you better get a good view. Getting everything set up. Those are all powered. It's all lit up. And each building is going to be independently powered with a fusion generator, because it's just easier if you want to do small things on a network. So this terminal will basically cover everything I'm doing in this building, whereas if I don't connect it through a power wire to that building will have its own. Everything I do in that terminal will only affect that building. Everything I do in this terminal will only affect this building. It's Fallout. Built a little smoke area. So, need to have smoke. Come on out here. Plan is to build some gardens here and whatnot. Maybe go on the beach a little bit. Maybe do some beachfront houses over there. Start building the houses. So I got the arena pretty far away from the armory and the water plant. Maybe the houses there. Maybe some parks, school. Who knows? It's quite an island. We'll see when the computer crashes. We'll just keep building until it does.